Gang slide through the block where it's going down. Well, we don't never say a word, we just lay them down. That's on the gang, homie, shit, we never fuck around. It's blucka, homie, shit, you know we empty rounds. The shit is scanners, yeah, scanners on this side of town. So best to never speak a word or end up underground. We never let you slide, homie, this is do or die. You spread them lies, you pay the price, I mean with your demise. That's on the hood, homie, shit, we hold it down with pride. We handle business, homie, shit, we never think it twice. We busting highlights on the oppositions till they die. Cause me and all my perros always be down for the crime. That's on the block, homie, shit, you know we done alright. We catch the enemy slipping, homie. There's no rewind. Alright, now starting off right here in Los Angeles, we're gonna start with one of the more larger and recognized neighborhoods within this area. You know what I mean? We have the Black P-Stones Bloods. Now, the Black P-Stone Bloods is the neighborhood that you see in iconic movies like Training Day, like the Tax Collector. You know, when they go into the jungles, you know, while the Bloods are at. This is the neighborhood in which come out in those movies. You know, the area was known as the jungles right there in Baldwin Village. That is the home of the Black P-Stones. Now, the Black P-Stones, even though they're one of the more largest neighborhoods and the more recognized neighborhoods right here in Los Angeles, it is originally from Chicago, so it is the same as the ones from the East Coast. The East Coast and West Coast Black P-Stones are the same neighborhood. They started in Chicago. That is where they originated from, and then they migrated over here to Los Angeles. You know what I mean? They've been right here in Los Angeles since the 1960s, but they go back even further than that in Chicago. You know what I mean? And like I said, they've been right here since the 60s, right there in was known as the Baldwin Village, West Adam district of Los Angeles. You know what I mean? And it is one of the powerhouses, man. It's large in numbers. You know what I mean? It's huge. It's a huge neighborhood. And they do fall under the Brims sets. You know, Brims obviously being the blood set, a lot more older. So they do fall under the Brims. You know, that's who they roll with. You know what I mean? And they beef it with all the Crips, you know what I mean? Them and the Crips definitely have, you know, rivalry, you know what I mean? And them and everybody else right there, because this is the danger zone right there, man. It's jam-packed full of neighborhoods. It's on and cracking right there, homie. That shit's no joke. Right there, as what's known as the Biddy area, as they call it, you know what I mean? And LA, man, like I said, this area is hectic, man. I mean, just in the jungles alone have had like 28 murders, like about, I think it was like 1,600 assaults. You know, like roughly around there 2,000 to 1,500 like assaults and you know, and battery and all kinds of shit, man. They just be cracking right there. You know what I mean? Like I said, it is the same scene as like in the movie Training Day. You know, when he rolls up into the jungles. That is their neighborhood, their area. You know, and that is that neighborhood, the Black P-Stones, and continue to hold it down and represent theirs and put theirs on the map. You know what I mean? Now here we have one of a more smaller sets in this area. You know, they're a spin-off for the Black P-Stones. You have the Village Stone Bloods. So they're right next to the Black P-Stones. They were, you know, a spin-off neighborhood off of them. You know what I mean? Their neighborhood was located right there was South La Brea Avenue all the way to Expedition Boulevard. From Expedition Boulevard, I would have to say to La Cienega, and then from that to what's known now as Obama Boulevard. You know what I mean? All the way to Coliseum. You know what I mean? So everything that's in the middle was known as their neighborhood. You know, roughly more of a more smaller territory compared to, you know, the other sets around here. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, homie, it is their area, the place they call home. You know, their domain right there on, you know, was close to like Cloverdale, through Sunlight, Highlight, Camina, You know, all of that is what's known as their neighborhood. You know, in which they hold it down. You know, they're roughly not as old school as, you know, obviously because they're a spin-off of the Black Pea Stones. You know, and that's why they're roughly more smaller. You know what I mean? And have a smaller territory, but nonetheless, man, these guys have the riders. These guys ain't no chumps, ain't no pushovers, and they will get it on and cracking, homie, and continue to do so and continue to put theirs on the map. You know what I mean? They still keep it active, and you know, you still see the activity by these guys, and they still hold it down for their set, and you know, put it on the map for them. All right, and also right here, another large set that we have right here in this area is the neighborhood, the Rolling 20 Bloods. Not to be confused with the Crips sets, you know what I mean? These are the Bloods, the Rolling 20 Neighborhood Bloods. You know what I mean? Are a large blood set, you know, one of the largest right here in the West Adams district. You know what I mean? They've been right here since the 1970s is when they were established. Now their neighborhood stretches from what's Vermont Avenue all the way to Arlington, between Jefferson and Pico. That's their domain, their dojo, where they get it on and cracking. Now their main clicks, because they do have clicks, their main clicks is like Avenue 25th Street, which is, you know, known as the Deuce 5. And they also have the 27th Street, which is known as the Deuce 7s. And then you have the 29th Street, which is known as the Deuce 9s, formerly known as Vermont Villain Boys. That was what they were known before they switched it to 29th. And like I said, they're a large blood set, and here's a trippy insight into it. They also have a lot of Mexicans in this neighborhood. They have a lot of Mexicans within the Rolling 20 Bloods. Not only a lot of Mexicans, a lot of like different nationalities. You know, they're not just like specifically a black gang. You know what I mean? Anybody that's worthy, you know, gets to join. And so they do have several, you know, Hispanics in their neighborhood. You know what I mean? Even though they tend to beef with Hispanic gangs, you know, Hispanics do get into their neighborhood. You know, kind of like vice versa, kind of like how blacks, you know, tend to get into Hispanic gangs. You know, you have the same, you know, going the opposite way. You know what I mean? And like I said, they're a large neighborhood, homie, that tends to beef it with all the Crips. Probably their main rivals probably gonna be the Rolling 30 Harlem Crips right there, since shit, their neighbors are right next to each other. They overlap each other. You know what I mean? It's crazy right there, homies. It's a danger zone. The only allies that I think that they do have is probably the Black Pea Stones, the Fruittown Brims, and the Outlaws. That's about it. Everybody else, you know, they go at it like 18th Street, Rolling 30s, Rolling 40s, West Boulevards, the Gear Gang. They beef with everybody right there, homie. Like I said, homie, it's on and cracking right there, homie. There ain't no breathing room. You get caught slipping, that's it, homie. You done. That's just how it goes down right here, homie. It's treacherous. But that's what's up with the neighborhood Bloods right there and holding it down. Now here we have a one of the more smaller Crip sets, but that holds it down. You know what I mean? That definitely is with the business. You definitely hear about these guys. You have the Gear Gang Crips. Now the Gear Gang Crips shares territory with 18th Street. Their neighborhood is located right there on the West Adams district by Clyde. And I would have to say they're to Adams, and from Adams all the way to Cortrin, and all the way to Jefferson Boulevard is where, you know, is their home, their domain, their dojo, where they get it on and cracking. You know what I mean? These guys ain't no chumps, ain't no suckers. You know, these guys are with the business and been right here for a cool minute. You know, that's that GGC neighborhood. So that's how you see it up, you know, GGC, you know, Gear Gangster Crips. You know, Gear obviously being the street in which they're located right there in the West Adams district. You know what I mean? Now Gear Street, now like I said, their territory stretches all the way from Adams to Jefferson Boulevard. They also claim the 55th 100 block, the 2100 block, the 2700 block is what they claim as their domain, their territories. You know what I mean? Like I said, they're active, man. They've been active right here since the 90s. You know, because they're a more, you know, younger generation neighborhood. You know what I mean? like I said, man, they get right there in the skating rink. Man, they used to throw all kinds of blows. You know what I mean? Right there, which is located in the Schoolyard Crips neighborhood. You know what I mean? Right there by the Rolling 60s. You know, because the Rolling 60s is, you know, a large, you know, black neighborhood in itself. You know what I mean? Now, their more known clique of this neighborhood is the Smiley Block, which is located right there on Smiley Drive. You know, in those apartment plexes. You know, like I said, that's why there's heavy beef between them and 18th Street. These neighborhoods definitely don't like each other. You know what I mean? You know, especially because, you know, 18 has a clique, you know, Smiley Drive, obviously, you know what I mean? You could see where the tensions and the conflicts, you know, begin to, you know, pop up. You know what I mean? Seems like the only allies that they're cool with is like the West Boulevard Crips, the Schoolyard Crips, and you know, they tend to beef with everybody else, like the Neighborhood Bloods, obviously, you know what I mean? They have heavy beef with multiple homicides on both sides, you know what I mean? With the Crenshaw Mafia Bloods, the P Stones, the Fruit Towns, and everybody else in that area, you know what I mean? Like I said, man, it gets on and cracking. Even they tend to beef it with their own, you know, with their own sets, you know what I mean? With their own crib sets. You know, but that's just how it is. But it seems like them and 18th Street probably have like the worst of rivalry just because their neighborhoods intertwine with each other. And like I said, it gets on and cracking, but they still representing theirs, you know, and putting theirs on the map. And here we have the West Boulevard Cribs. You know what I mean? The West Boulevard Cribs, as is known as the WBC neighborhood, which, you know, is located right here in the West Adam Hyde Park, you know, district in South Los Angeles, right here on West Boulevard. On West Boulevard and 29th Street, is, you know, where they roam around and do their thing. They've been here since the 70s. Now their cliques consist of what's the 30 streets, the 29th streets, and the 28th streets. You know what I mean? They also have subsets known as the 64 West Boulevard Cribs, located on the west side of Inglewood. You know what I mean? Their neighborhood is around the West Boulevard between 64th and Hyde Park. 64th West Boulevard Cribs neighborhood is right here, like, you know, intertwines with the rolling 60s neighborhood Cribs. Seems like they're pretty cool with like the Venice, Shoreline Mafia, you know, with the rolling neighborhoods, with the East Coast, you know what I mean? Now they tend to beef it more with the Gear Gang Cribs, with the Rolling 20 Neighborhood Bloods, with the P Stone, with the Inglewood families, with the Pyrus, with the Harvard Park Brims, Fruitown Brims, Schoolyards, Playboy Gangster Cribs. Like I said, Cribs tend to beef it a lot also with Cribs, homie. That's just how it is. There is no unity. Kind of like with the Southern gangs. Just because you guys, you know, playing this side of the color doesn't mean that you guys are going to get along, homie. You're going to have conflicts and issues and shit's going to crack, homie. That's just the way it is right here in LA when you have so many neighborhoods jam-packed in one area, homie. It's really hard to get unity or peace or anything of that matter. You know what I mean? It's a game of egos. A lot of egos, you know, are gonna clash. It's gonna be on and popping. You know, that's just the way it is, homie. Like I said, it's crazy out here, homie. It's crazy out here. But they continue to hold it down for their side right there and put the West Boulevard up on the map. You know what I mean? And here we have a very, very large Crip set. One of the largest Crip sets within this area. You know what I mean? These guys are definitely large. You definitely hear about them. You know what I mean? You have the Rolling 30s Original Harlem Cribs, OHO, or, you know, also known as the Dirt Gang. You know what I mean? They're located right there on the west side around the Jefferson Park region of South Los Angeles. Now, their neighborhood goes back since the 1960s, making them one of the longest standing Crip neighborhoods in Los Angeles, which runs from Jefferson Boulevard to Martin Luther King between Crenshaw and Normandy Avenue. Now, the Rolling 30 Harlem Cribs, formerly known as the Harlem Godfathers, consists of several cliques, you know what I mean? Like the 35th Street, the 37th Street, 39th Street, the Avenues, the Dinker Park, you know what I mean? They just have several, you know, cliques. The Harlem 30 Cribs are considered the third largest Crip gang in Los Angeles behind the Rolling 60 Neighborhood Cribs and the A-Trade Gangster Cribs. The Rolling 30 Harlem Cribs fall underneath the Rolling you know, the rolling umbrella, the rolling O's, you know what I mean? So that's who they roll with, you know what I mean? Now the Rolling 30s Harlem Crips are also known as, were also known to sport the Texas Rangers logo, you know what I mean? The Longhorn, you know, baseball cap, you know, for the T, you know, to represent 30, obviously, you know what I mean? That is how they, you know, tend to, you know, distinguish each other and all that. They can be found in different parts, you know what I mean? Like New York, uh, also in, Belness, and you know, all over in different states and all over the place, man. These guys just multiplied, homie. It's how it is, homie. You already know. Homies move, set up shop, establish, recruit. Y'all know the get down. You know what I mean? Now they do also have you know, rappers from this label. They also made the news several times. You know what I mean? Shit, these guys, you know, been hit with everything and everything. You know what I mean? But like I said, they do have rappers. You can peep out their music right here, and yeah, they continue to represent right there and hold it down for theirs and put theirs on the map. You know what I mean? These guys ain't no suckers, ain't no chumps. You know, they will get it on and cracking. Like I said, they're one of the more largest. You know, tend to be for with the Rolling 20s, the Black P Stones, the Fruit Town, the Hoover Criminals, the Rolling 40s, the Front Street Watch Cribs, the Trouble Gangster Cribs, the Compton Pyrus, man. They be for all kinds of items, but they're large enough to handle their own, you know what I mean? They got numbers, and they continue to represent theirs and put theirs on the map, you know what I mean?